Here's why securing at least 1,000 XRP tokens before this unfolds is absolutely critical. And listen up, this isn't some distant future prediction. This transformation is happening right now, literally this week. It begins with the primary reason institutional money has remained parked on the sidelines. The single factor keeping those trillions locked away in pension funds and massive asset management companies from entering this market. Complete uncertainty. But buckle up. That uncertainty is evaporating like fog on a sunny morning. Number 1. The regulatory approval is about to light up green. For countless years, the barrier preventing a massive wave of institutional investment has been unclear regulations. We've been navigating through a pitch-black, cloudy night. But dawn is finally breaking? Just this week, the U.S. Senate successfully passed the Genius Act, legislation creating a definitive federal structure for stablecoins. Now, I get it. Some of you are wondering, it's merely a stablecoin bill. How does this connect to XRP? The answer? Everything. You've got to grasp this. Don't underestimate this as a small development. This represents the Trojan horse strategy. This legislation goes far beyond stablecoins. It's the foundational framework, the initial official, solid regulatory guidelines for the digital asset marketplace in Earth's most influential economy. This signals to the heavy hitters, the BlackRocks, Fidelities, and Vanguards, that it's safe to proceed. These financial titans won't budge without established regulations. Their legal teams wield more influence than their investment departments. They must understand the precise legal boundaries within which they can function. They require the ability to assure their leadership, we maintain 100% compliance with federal U.S. regulations. The Genius Act delivers exactly that. It clarifies what constitutes a payment stablecoin and, here's the crucial part, what doesn't qualify as a security. It establishes the groundwork for an environment where digital currencies can flow through public networks under complete U.S. legal protection and oversight. This delivers the regulatory certainty they demand before deploying not just millions, but billions. We're discussing pension funds managing retirement savings for millions of Americans. They absolutely cannot and will not engage with asset classes operating in regulatory gray zones. This bill eliminates that ambiguity. It shifts the signal from red to yellow, and it's preparing to flash green. And here's the bombshell. The timing is absolutely perfect. At the precise moment this industry-wide transparency arrives, what else is unfolding? The Ripple versus SEC legal battle is reaching its final settlement phases. This week's court documents reveal both parties requested to pause the appeals timeline until August 15th minimum, providing space to complete the agreement details. The company-specific obstacle for Ripple is dissolving at the exact instant the industry-wide pathway is being constructed. You can't tell me this isn't a carefully orchestrated chain of events. This represents the ultimate strategic path-clearing operation. The barriers are lifting, the confusion is disappearing, and the engines of institutional finance are beginning to thunder. This marks the initial and most powerful warning shot. You must understand this crucial element. The regulatory transparency we just examined provides the protective cover. However, an advancing force can't succeed on air support alone. It requires infrastructure, roads, connections, and ground-level systems. Over the past 2 years, while Washington officials drafted legislation, Ripple's engineers and XRPL developers constructed the superhighways for trillions of dollars. And now that entry point is operational. This isn't about minor improvements or small feature additions. This concerns the complete restructuring of the XRP ledger to communicate in institutional finance language. I'm specifically referencing the recent launch of the XLS80 amendment. This wasn't designed for everyday users. It's custom-built for banking institutions and regulated financial entities. This enhancement introduces controlled access domains and blockchain-based compliance. Let me explain what this actually delivers. Picture it as an express lane on the network, a secure environment within the public system. It enables institutions like JP Morgan to establish their own private, compliant infrastructure on the XRPL. Within this space, they can exclusively transact with other verified, KYC-approved participants, meeting regulatory requirements while maintaining the speed and effectiveness of public blockchain technology. This single capability eliminates the enormous friction that has kept compliance-focused institutions away. They no longer face the choice between chaotic, permissionless DeFi and the sluggish, isolated realm of private blockchains. XLS80 provides the optimal combination: public ledger speed with private, institutional-level oversight. It's the missing compliance component they've been anticipating. But wait, that's only part of the equation. While constructing the compliant pathway for traditional finance, they simultaneously built an expressway to welcome innovative players. The EVM sidechain is now operational. This represents a game-changing advancement. The Ethereum Virtual Machine, EVM, serves as the foundation for the majority of decentralized finance applications. By deploying a fully compatible sidechain, the XRP ledger just extended a warm welcome to Ethereum's entire developer ecosystem and their applications. Consider the billions in liquidity trapped within Ethereum's DeFi systems. Think about the thousands of developers creating on that platform. Now they can seamlessly transfer their applications to the XRPL, bringing their liquidity and innovation to a more efficient, cost-effective, and scalable network. We're already witnessing over 80 projects, previously unconnected to the XRP ecosystem, now developing on the testnet. The signal is unmistakable. The XRPL has evolved beyond a simple payments network. It's no longer a limited solution. With a compliant institutional corridor on one side and an open gateway to the complete DeFi ecosystem on the other, it's being established as the central institutional quality foundation for next-generation finance. The entry system isn't just complete, it's a multi-lane expressway prepared for peak traffic. Banks are strategically positioning themselves. Now let's discuss the banking sector, because this is where you need to decode the subtle signals. You won't find press announcements from major banks declaring, "We're purchasing XRP." That's not their operational style. Their actions are calculated, strategic, and occurring on a worldwide scale. But they're absolutely undeniable. Let's begin with Japan. This extends far beyond a couple of banks experimenting. Fresh analysis confirms that by year's end, an impressive 80% of Japanese financial institutions are set to implement Ripple's payment infrastructure for international transfers through their groundbreaking SBI partnership. Absorb that information. We're discussing the complete banking infrastructure of a G7 economy, the world's fourth largest, being upgraded with this technology. This isn't a trial run. This represents a comprehensive, nationwide financial system transformation. The Bank of Japan fully supports this initiative, understanding it's the only path to modernize their financial infrastructure for the modern era. Now expand your view to the Middle East, a region abundant with capital-seeking, modern, efficient opportunities. Last month, Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin didn't just receive acknowledgement. It obtained complete regulatory authorization from Dubai's Financial Services Authority for deployment within their special economic zone. This transcends a simple license. It's a master key. It provides access for over 7,000 regulated companies in one of the world's most vibrant financial centers to utilize Ripple's technology for transactions. It establishes RLUSD as a trusted, recognized asset alongside the US dollar, demonstrating to the entire region that Ripple is the preferred partner for compliant, blockchain-powered finance. Then shift focus to North America. Today, not next week, not next month. Today, the Evolve XRP ETF launched on Toronto's stock exchange. This creates a direct, regulated pathway for institutional investors to access XRP without custody complexities. This is how pension funds and investment managers will participate. They won't be managing hardware wallets. They'll be purchasing exchange symbols like XRPB through their established brokers. This ETF isn't merely a financial product. It's a connection, a secure, regulated link joining traditional finance with the new digital economy. Can you see the pattern emerging? These aren't random occurrences. This is a coordinated global strategy. Asia delivers nationwide banking integration. The Middle East supplies the regulatory framework and capital center. North America offers the regulated investment pathway. While one region establishes the legal structure, another implements banking adoption, and another creates the investment mechanism. They're all coordinating perfectly, preparing for a system where XRP isn't simply an alternative, but an essential neutral bridging asset at the absolute center. They're constructing the entry and exit points across every major corridor before activating the entire network. The trillion-dollar wave, real-world assets. If you believe for one moment this is only about faster, cheaper transactions, you're completely missing the bigger picture. Payments represent the initial phase, the proof of concept. The tokenization of real-world assets, RWAs, is the massive wave that follows. This is the genuine prize, the moment we transition from billions to trillions. We're discussing tokenizing every valuable asset on Earth. Equities, bonds, commercial properties, fine art, commodities, carbon credits, everything. Don't just take my word for it. The World Economic Forum recently published research identifying asset tokenization as the next evolution of value exchange. They conservatively project this market will expand to over $16 trillion by 2030. This isn't speculation, it's already underway. Just last week, Ondo Finance, an industry leader, deployed its tokenized U.S. Treasury fund directly onto the XRP ledger, introducing hundreds of millions in value. This isn't an experimental token. This represents a fund secured by BlackRock custodied assets, now operating on the XRPL. So why is this developing on the XRP ledger? Because the infrastructure was designed for this purpose from the beginning. The network's innovative multi-purpose token, MPT standard, is specifically engineered for institutional finance complexities. This differs completely from basic tokens on other networks. The MPT standard enables creating sophisticated financial instruments with embedded rules. You can develop a tokenized bond featuring automatic maturity dates, scheduled interest payments, and integrated compliance verification that controls ownership eligibility. Ripple is already spearheading this movement, collaborating with regulated entities like Archax, the UK's first regulated digital asset exchange, and platforms like Zonix to deliver institutional-grade tokenization to the ledger. These aren't just verbal agreements. These partnerships are constructing the channels to direct trillions in assets onto the XRPL. Now, why does this matter for individual XRP token values? Simple answer. In a world where trillions in tokenized assets exist on the XRPL, tokenized Apple shares, trading against tokenized treasury bonds, exchanging for tokenized real estate, you need an extremely liquid, incredibly fast, and dependable native digital asset bridging everything. You need an asset for network fees, collateral posting, and serving as the primary bridging mechanism between all other assets. XRP fulfills that role. It's the neutral, non-governmental bridge designed precisely for this function. Every transaction, trade, and settlement within this new tokenized economy will generate XRP demand. We're transitioning from XRP facilitating payments to XRP supporting entire capital markets. That's the incoming tsunami. Why 1,000 XRP secures your position at the table? Let's synthesize everything we've covered. We've examined the regulatory approvals, the institutional infrastructure being constructed, the strategic bank positioning, and the trillion-dollar RWA tsunami approaching. Now we must discuss you and what this means for your holdings. Acquiring 1,000 XRP isn't about quick profit dreams. It's about comprehending the system's scale being developed and securing a substantial position before activation. This 1,000 number isn't random. It's a meaningful benchmark. It distinguishes between being a visitor and being a property owner. Consider this analogy. If you discovered a small island was becoming the world's central trading hub, owning 1 square foot might not transform your life. You could claim participation, but you wouldn't experience the economic transformation happening around you. However, owning substantial land, a meaningful portion, positions you to benefit from every transaction, every business deal, every development occurring on that island. 1,000 XRP represents that substantial holding. It's a significant, meaningful position. It's a quantity that transforms your perspective from a speculator hoping for fortunate timing to a stakeholder participating in network expansion. It's a number ensuring you're not merely observing, but actively participating in this new financial infrastructure. Consider the supply mathematics. There's a maximum supply of 100 billion XRP tokens. That figure will never increase. Now contrast that fixed number with the demand scale we've discussed. Not just Swift Network's $5 trillion daily volume, but tens of trillions in tokenized assets requiring a neutral bridge asset for movement. As institutions begin requiring XRP for liquidity reserves and RWA settlements, they won't purchase thousands at a time. They'll seek millions to support their operations. This isn't retail demand, this is industrial scale demand, meeting mathematically limited supply. The opportunity window we're currently in, this brief, valuable period where infrastructure exists but isn't fully operational, is closing fast. When regulations are completely established, when banks publicly announce adoption, when the first $1 trillion of real-world assets are tokenized on the ledger, entry costs will be exponentially higher. The entire game will have transformed. Securing at least 1,000 XRP demonstrates you recognize what's approaching. It's your declaration that you understand the master plan. It's your stake in the new foundation before the general public even realizes the game has begun, much less that all positions are about to be claimed. So let's bring everything into sharp focus. We've explored the regulatory barriers cracking open, the institutional superhighway just completed on the ledger, the strategic positioning by global banks, and the $1 trillion real-world asset tsunami preparing to arrive. You're now at a decision point. You can view this as another interesting video, close this tab, and continue your routine. Or you can acknowledge this moment for its true significance, one of the final quiet chances to position yourself before the entire world must pay attention. The information we share here isn't just updates, it's a roadmap. It's about recognizing tomorrow's architecture before construction begins. If you want to keep connecting these insights with us, if you want to stay ahead of headlines and understand the reasoning behind events, then you need to be here. So take action now. Smash that like button to signal you see the revolutionary transformation ahead, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Because this isn't just about monitoring markets anymore, it's about outsmarting them. Until next time, stay alert and keep building your crypto intelligence.